Hello, my name is Quinten Hyde and welcome to the Quinten Hyde Podcast. It was super hard this week for me to find a subject. I had genuinely nothing that I was comfortable talking about. Obviously I have a lot of internal things that I could talk about, but I didn't feel like it. I wanted it to be something lightweight and fun and not mental health related, which is fun for another time, but I couldn't know what. So what I'm doing right now is actually, I went to YouTubesociety.com, the website we all use, and I found 30 questions for the Get to Know Me tag. For my very first episode on this podcast, I did the too much information or too many questions or whatever the heck it was called. Also my hair, if you're watching the video version of this, it is looking horrendous. I need to get it cut. It is awful. It is just the worst. But anyway, we're gonna go through 30 questions that really gives you maybe a little bit of more insight on me, which is basically what this whole podcast was made for us to know a little bit more about each other, because you can definitely give me some of your answers. I bit my tongue. Ow. Through either Twitter or by leaving it in the comments on the YouTube version of the podcast. So hey, let's get started. Very first one. Where did you grow up? I grew up fully in the city Groningen at the north of the Netherlands, which is the capital city of the province, which is also called Groningen. That's where I've always grown up. And apart from 5 months that I lived in Amsterdam, I've lived there my whole life, but I do really want to go back to Amsterdam. But I feel like I've said that enough for you to know that. Where do you currently live? Groningen, still here. Who is your first best friend? I thought this was a very interesting one, because it's either of these two boys. I had this neighbor boy when I was little called Jordy, and I had this this friend that I met in the very first class that I went to in school, who was named Ihab. And I actually don't know what happened to either of them, because Jordy and his family had to flee from the police. He, on a Saturday or something, told me, hey, I'm going to be moving in 2 days. I was like, oh, yo, what the hell? And then the next morning, he was gone. They had abandoned everything that they had because his parents were on the run drug people. I believe they made it and sold it. And the poor boy had to go along with them, and I've never seen him again. Also, don't recall what his last name is, so I have no way of finding him. For Ihab, he also had to move to another place within Groningen, which is always a little bit weird when you're a kid, because you can't really just hop on a bike or a bus to go there, because we were super young. I've seen him once or twice when he lived in his new house. Then I never saw him again. He disappeared from his new school, which happened to be a school that my mom worked at the time. And I don't know where he is to this day, because I know that his mom really wanted to move back to Sudan, which is where they were from. So I don't know if they moved back or anything, but his last name is apparently a very, 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 very common name in Muslim countries, like the Northern African Muslim countries. So and apparently his first name is also very common, because I thought, you know what, I'll look the guy up on Facebook. I got his last name, and I'm not even kidding when I say there's 50,000 people with that name. His exact first and last name. So I don't know where he is, and I'm really curious, where does he live? What is he doing now? We were the same age. He has to be 23 now. So how is he doing? I don't know. But I'd like to know how Ihab is doing. How tall are you? I am 1.87 meters for the people that use this stupid system. That is 6'2"-ish. 6'2" or something. Which is funny, because a lot of people from other countries, they're like, oh my god, that is ginormously tall. But from my friend groups I have here up north in the Netherlands, which and the northern Netherlands are the tallest people on earth by average, I am the short one. All of my friends are 195 or even over 2 meters, which is 6'5" to 6'8" on average, I think. I don't even know. But I'm the short one here. But generally I'm a pretty tall dude. But I've been told that I look short on photos and video because I angle it downwards a little bit. If you watch this on YouTube, you say that I'm angling downwards a little bit from the top, which makes me seem smaller, but I'm actually a pretty tall dude. Dogs or cats? I never liked cats in the beginning, but I've actually been really warming up to them recently, or at least the idea of them. I think I like dogs more. However, I do feel like with the lifestyle that I am striving to have, with being on the run a lot, doing a lot of things, I feel like cats are easier to maintain because you can just train them to go into like a litter box and you make sure that they got food, and dogs really require a little bit more of attention and work on that, if that makes sense. Why do I have like a 9-minute explanation for that simple ass question? Funniest moment throughout high school. This one is insane because I have so many fun things that happen in high school. Like, a lot of things that weren't funny in the moment were funny like in hindsight, like me having to go and walk through the hallways without a shirt because one of my teachers required me to take off my shirt, which, by the way, yeah, it sounds shady, and now that I think about it, it kind of probably was, because it's a little bit weird still. But the absolute funniest thing, I don't know, I played in school musicals, which was a lot of fun. I sang on stage. I was required to. I didn't actually want to do that, but I was required to sing in the choir. I made I hosted a Minecraft server during that time. Like, I genuinely don't know what the funniest moment is in the entirety of 5 years of school, which in the Netherlands, middle and high school are essentially the same thing in the last 5 years. So I don't know. It's so hard. I think like most of it I've at some point told you, or in some way I've made a video or content about. What year were you born? Well, it's gonna shock a lot of you because a lot of you are younger than I, but I was born in 1997. So I still made the millennial switch, which is really cool when you think about it. And I'm like in the last like 1 or 2 years where I'm still Generation Z and not a millennial. So, I'm still down with the kids, if you know what I'm saying, but I was born before the millennial switch, which I feel like is really cool, because if I live to be 103, and I will, like, let's be real, I will reach the year 2100, meaning that I've lived in 3 centuries and 2 millennia. You know how cool that is? That is a flex. Oh God, I want that. Are you in or have you gone to college? I went to a University of Applied Sciences. I graduated around 2 years back, a little bit more than 2 years, and I studied communication and multimedia design with a proficiency in web content production and social media marketing. The first part was like the name of the study, but the proficiency was the one that I chose. So my focus was essentially, how do I make content for the internet and how do I market stuff through social media? And you're probably thinking, Quinten, you never do anything related to this ever. And yeah, you'd be right. It's clear to see what my one and only passion is, I think. What's your favorite drink? This one's difficult because I'm not sure to what kind of drink they are referring. I don't drink alcohol, so I'm just ruling all of that out. I think my favorite guilty pleasure drink is Coca-Cola Zero. And you're probably thinking, how is that a guilty pleasure? Well, because it has a lot of sugar in it, and I genuinely only drink water. So if you were to ask me, you can only drink one thing for the rest of your life, I'd pick water. If we rule out water and we're talking like non-water drinks, then my favorite unhealthy one would be Coca-Cola. And my favorite healthier ones would be like pretty much every smoothie based on citrus fruits, banana, and strawberry. Those are really good to me. God, I love smoothies. Those are really, well, I don't know why that came out so weirdly, but I love it. What is your spirit animal and why? Excellent question. It is a moth. The reason why, I've talked about this previously in other episodes. Basically, I had a very great connection with my great-grandmother, and when she passed, I was visited by moths very consistently, to the extent that I felt like they were a sign coming from her, and a lot of my family has seen this to an extent where they were like, oh, this is actually so strange, it cannot be, like the specific scenarios in which it happened were a little bit too specific for it to be random. Additionally, I still to this day get visited by moths whenever something big is about to happen, or I'm nervous for something to happen. Like, imagine I'm genuinely in my head about something, a moth will genuinely fly up to me and just sit somewhere, even sometimes on me and stuff. Additionally, at some point a while ago, I googled spirit animal moth because I was curious, and it had this description of a person with a moth spirit animal is very much like blah 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 blah, and I don't remember what it said, but I was very on board with what that said. Additionally, I am planning a moth tattoo, and one of my friends was like, oh, are you getting that one because you're always trying to go into the light, like trying to go into your success, trying to follow your dreams, trying to, be in the limelight of being online and growing your knownness online, which gave it a whole second layer of meaning. And I like that a lot. Fun fact, actually, today I got an Instagram advertisement for a pendant necklace shaped like a moth. It was very beautiful, but I need to stop buying stuff that I see on Instagram, because the necklace I'm currently wearing, I don't know if you're watching this or listening to this, but I'm wearing a necklace, I'm wearing a chain. I bought this one in a whim on Instagram as well when I scrolled past it, and pretty much have the stuff that... I have a thing here, if you're not watching, I can make you hear it. This is like a little thing that you can shake up and then stuff up your nose, and you go... and you snort it, and then everything that you smell suddenly smells like blueberry. Why did I buy this? And now I just used it, and now everything smells like blueberry. Okay, it is kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty cool. But why does it exist, and why do I have it? Instagram. If you're wearing a perfume, what scent is it? Oh right, I can't smell anything but blueberry right now. But I am wearing the remainder of a scent that I wore yesterday or 2 days back, I think, which is Wouldnt from a brand that is in French, and I can't remember the name of it. But I recently got it. It's very good. I have... a funny thing is, because you can't smell me, obviously, I own a surprising amount of colognes. I have 6-ish now or something, and I like to mix them up a little bit. Some of them are my favorites, so I don't like that much. I basically mix them up by occasion or whatever I want to smell like that day. I don't really put them on when I'm home alone, because 9 out of 10 times that makes no sense, because I'm going to be the only one smelling them, and I feel like they are too expensive to consistently waste on me being the only one to smell them. So I don't really wear them when I'm home alone, but when I see people, I put on a cologne, and I make careful considerations of which one I pick. And this is so nerdy, but I'm learning about colognes to the extent where I look up which ones fit with the seasons and the occasion and my outfits even, and the vibe that I want to give off, and what time of day it is, and all that kind of stuff. I really like it. I like notes and tones and all that kind of stuff. I think it's such a nerdy thing, but I can really have fun reading that stuff. Tea or coffee? Well, I don't really drink either, ever, but definitely tea. I have ways to make tea at home. I don't have ways to make coffee, because coffee is disgusting. I've tried it 100 times. I've tried so many different varieties, but it's just not for me. What are your life goals? I want to be a full-time social media online creator across everything. I want to be active. I want to be there on YouTube. I want to be there on TikTok, on Instagram. I want to just be all-encompassing, but I want to be impressive. I want to be considered one of the best. And I'm not even going to filter myself on this. You know how there's a lot of people that are considered top-notch. Think Mr. Beast, David Dobrik, my two main inspirations. People like them because they bring out great new innovations, but also a crap ton of positivity. They put out great and interesting stuff, but very positively. And that is what I want to do. I want to be there as one of those people where people are if you want to see something new, something cool, but also something that makes you feel good, something that changes the world, even if it's slight, for the better, you should find Quinten. You should look at Quinten. And that is something that I want to do. But here's the thing, I have so much confidence that I know I'm going to be doing it. It doesn't have to be next year. I mean, that'd be great, but it doesn't have to be in 1 year. I will literally not stop until I'm there. That's why I love Mr. Beast so much, because people don't know that Mr. Beast literally had already been making videos for 8 years before he took off. And the beginning of his videos, they were not good, and he knows this. I want to talk to him so badly because he has this knowledge, so much knowledge and so many things, but also when I look at him, I see the passion that I have so much, when I hear him talk. And when I hear him describe things, I love Mr. Beast. I would love to just have even if it's a 30-minute conversation with the guy. I feel like it would change my life. Where was I on this list? What sports do you play or have you played? Very briefly, I played baseball for many, many, many years. I practiced swimming. Have any books you read changed your life? I want to say yeah. I think the main life changer was the Del Toro Quest series. It's a childhood book series that is the most important to me just forever. I remember pretty much all of its trivia. I am considering a Del Toro-related tattoo, all that kind of stuff. It is just, it means a lot to me. It didn't change my life where I was like changed as a person, but it's very important to me because it was just so much fun to me as a kid, and it still means a lot to me now. When we're talking like stuff that changed my perspective a lot, I think a really good book was The 4-Hour Workweek, which is about this guy who was able to manage his company in such a way that he only really worked for 4 hours a week while still making a crap ton of money. And I do a lot of those things where, for example, he basically says if you can, let someone else do something you don't like, but still like basically to free up your time from stuff that you hate, let them do it, or make sure that you do that. And that's why I basically took the step and asked my friend Jesper, or like paid my friend Jesper to edit most of the videos on my main YouTube channel, because I stopped liking editing and I was like, hey, this is taking a lot of hours out of me. And he was like, I love it. So we kind of, came together like that. I think that's a very good book if you want to like optimize time in your business kind of stuff. What is your favorite movie? I cannot answer anything that starts with what is your favorite, because there are so many different things out there. I cannot pick one. Additionally, I don't rewatch movies because I remember them so well that rewatching them isn't fun. Who are your favorite YouTubers? Okay, I have to dial back everything I just said because this is actually one that starts with favorite that I can answer, and it is David Dobrik and Mr. Beast. But I also really like the British commentary squad, such as Mimula's, Wouldnt, James Marriott, and oh my god, I lost his whole name. I'm Alex. I don't watch I'm Alex as much as the others, to be fair. Like Wouldnt and Mimula's I watch the most, but I think they're super funny. Like them as a group, they're really good. I like them a lot. Do you speak any other languages, and how well? Well, English is not my native tongue. My native tongue is Dutch, and I also very limitedly speak German. Like very limited. It's very limited. And I have a basic knowledge on American Sign Language, which is really cool for like people who are hard of hearing. Are you single or taken? I am single. What is your idea of your dream date? Wow, that's an interesting one because I've never considered it. Because the thing is, I have like a lot of romantic date ideas, but it really depends on what the other person... I feel like I like it best when I do fun stuff for another person, not necessarily for me. So I don't know what I would like best. It's hard. I do like the traditionally romantic stuff though, like stargazing or like being at night just on like a beach or dunes or something. I have, however, is this weird? Nah, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something insane. I already have like 100 different ways that I want to propose to my future wife. And one of them is so super insane that it would require like a team of mechanical engineers, as well as a drone, as well as like a specific location. But I want to explain it because I think it is insane. So I have this idea because there's this beach somewhere in the world, I don't recall where these special kind of algae, like this plankton algae, sometimes washes up on shore, and they are luminescents, meaning that when you walk on the beach, you leave blue shine, like a blue light comes out of your footsteps because the algae that are on there, when they are disturbed, they start glowing. So basically the waves glow and your footsteps glow, and if you like draw something in the sand, it glows. Like everything basically that shakes up these algae allows them to glow a bright blue, which at night is just absolutely gorgeous. So I have this idea that one time, like in my mind in the future, I have a lot of money, so just keep that in mind. I have this contraption in mind where I would need electrical or mechanical engineers to dig out some like space in the sand, add like these little strings, essentially like little just copper wire or something underneath the sand that very largely spells out the words "marry me," but they are underneath the sand, all right? However, they are all attached to like a haptic feed engine. So basically when you hit the button, all of the wires would start shaking a little bit, like vibrating quite heavily. So I and like my future wife would be on that beach because I would take her there. I would have a ring with me and a drone. I would basically like make the drone fly up. So on a live feed on like a phone or an iPad, we would be able to see each other, like ourselves from the top. And then we would like dance or be cute or something. And she'd be like, oh, it's so cool because we can see each other, like we can see ourselves from top down on the iPad, basically having our footprints. It looks cool because you see the lights from up above. But then I have like a button or like a signal to electrical engineers that are somewhere nearby where they hit the button, all of the copper wiring starts to vibrate at the same time, which basically triggers the algae in a specific form to spell out in bright blue lights across the beach the words "marry me," which would then be very visible from the top-down view of the drone. She would see that, the lights would shine all around us, it'd be hella cool. Then I would get down on one knee, get out a ring and be like, will you marry me? Just like the algae and the lights spelled out on the beach, and then she'd hopefully be like, yeah! And that'd be so sick. That is a fantasy that I've had several times, I'm sure you can tell. God, that'd be such a great way to do that. And so expensive, but so cool. But like I said, in my mind, money is not really a thing in the future. I'll be rich as hell. And I'll be using it for a lot of fun stuff and to change the world for the better. Just saying. How long was your longest relationship? Almost 2 years exactly. How would you describe your fashion sense? That's a great question. Changing. Very changing. I have very like tidy clothes, essentially, where I wear like button-ups and suits and all that kind of stuff. I also have the very casual stuff, where it's like just a hoodie and that's it. And I also have the stuff that is a little bit more alternative, where I add like a bunch of jewelry. That's like my least favorite English word. Jewelry. See, that is like the word that a Dutch person has most struggle with. Jewelry. Accessories. You know what? I'll just throw in a bunch of accessories. It's like bright neon-y or like black additionally to bright neon-y. I have like these gothic ass boots with like the steel tips essentially. They're really cool, but like it changes a lot for me. What is your go-to hairstyle? Well, what you're currently seeing... Oh no, wait, some people aren't watching this video. Anyway, basically my hair, it just poofs as like a little fluffy quiff in the front, and the rest of it is just a little bit shorter, and that's what I look like. And I dye my hair a lot. How many siblings do you have? I have 3 half siblings essentially, but no one says half siblings, just for your sake of imagination. I have 2 younger sisters and a younger brother. I'm the oldest one. What is your go-to fast food order? Excellent question. I like Domino's pizza a lot, especially the meat lovers kind. And if I'm going to McDonald's, it's usually a Big Mac menu. Yeah, that's what I... Do you use a PC or a Mac? Mac, 99% of the time. I love Mac significantly more than Windows, but I have a Windows PC as well for like Twitch streams. Twitch streaming has been a lot of fun, but a lot of those softwares, when it comes to sound, don't really work super well on Mac due to a limitation that Apple put on their recent update that I'm very pissy about. So if I'm streaming with someone else remotely or I'm streaming a game, I'll use my Windows. But I like Mac significantly more. Your most memorable childhood memory. How am I supposed to pick one memory out of everything in my childhood? I don't know. I genuinely have no clue. I've done so many weird and crazy things. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to skip this one because it's genuinely going to take me 8 minutes to think of something. What are your morning and evening routines? My morning routine is getting out of bed, complaining about the fact that I have to get out of bed, brush my teeth, and go to work. I don't do anything else in the morning. I mean, I get dressed, but... Oh yeah, and I put on a cologne. Okay, I do more than I thought for a second, but it's not that much. In the evening, I brush my teeth, then go to bed. Oh my god, I don't do a lot, do I? I should definitely do something for my skin though, but I just don't really know how. Do you have any bad habits? Yeah. I think I eat a little bit too much junk food. And I mean, while I don't actively promote it and I don't use it nearly as much as many other people, I do occasionally use marijuana, which is not necessarily good for you. So I would consider that a bad habit. I'm not going to sit here and be one of those people that's like, oh yeah, no, bro, it's actually good for you. No, it's not. Shut up. It's not good for you. Tell us one thing about you that we wouldn't know. This is the last question, by the way. 30. Tell us something about you that others wouldn't know, or you guys wouldn't know. It is difficult because I am such an open book about everything. I've opened up a lot about like my sex life, my personal life. I think one of the things that most people would be just most surprised about is I'm not always as happy as I seem online. I'm by no means unhappy. Like, let's get things straight. I love life. I love the idea of the future. I love being here. But not everything is always as good as I make it seem. Because I put my best self out there. It's not fake. I put my happiness out on the internet. I put fun stuff out there. But there are times where I'm sad and I'm actually enrolling into therapy. I'm getting therapy, well, whenever the waiting list is up. But I have been told that I'm allowed to get it, which is good. And just like everyone else, I have issues, but people look at me and they say, oh, Quinten, he's the happy guy. He's always happy. He's the fun one. And I want to be that because I want to show that side of me. But it's also important to know that I'm not just that, because that might make you feel like having bad feelings or feeling bad is not right. Because you might be thinking, oh, but Quinten's never sad. That's not true. I'm actually sad well, I don't want to say frequently. That sounds too bad, but I'm sad too. I am mad too. I am downwards sometimes. That is a terrible way of putting it, but there are times where I'm lonely. There are times where I'm upset. There are times where I can stand in the middle of the living room and just yell at non-existing things just because I am so frustrated. And no one knows this because I'm not going to put that out there. I'm not going to make I have a fun positivity-based channel with funny things and fun activities. So it's not going to include me being hella sad. But it is important to know that I am still a person. And I know most of you are already going to be like, oh yeah, obviously we knew that. Obviously we knew that. But there are probably some people out there that think that I am always happy. And I think it's good to know that I'm not. Not really the most positive note to end this on, but I think it brought us closer together. Thank you so much for being here. This was almost a half hour long. That's crazy. If you want to let me know what you were thinking and you're listening to this on Spotify, you can tweet me at Quinten Hyde, but you can also leave some comments in the YouTube comment section if you're listening to this on YouTube. So hey, thank you so much for being here, and I would love to see you next time. Bye-bye.